After 10 exhausting years of siege, the legendary walls of Troy didn't fall to a battering ram. They fell to an idea: the sheer, ruthless intellect of one man, Odysseus. He designed a massive wooden horse packed with elite soldiers, tricking the Trojans into hauling the weapon into their own city with their own hands. Standing victorious over the burning city, Odysseus shouted into the night sky. But to the rest of the pantheon, the gods who ruled the sea and the sky, he declared he owed them absolutely nothing. Not one offering, not one bow of the head. Today, we celebrate absolute self-reliance as a virtue. But in the ancient world, claiming victory entirely on your own was a lethal, cosmic insult. They called it hubris. Poseidon heard the boast. He explicitly commanded the ocean not to drown the conquering king. Instead, Poseidon took him on as a personal project, designing a gauntlet specifically to break that colossal pride.
The path back to Ithaca was now a calculation of debt, where every mile of ocean carried a lethal interest rate. The moment they set sail, the water turned against them. A brutal, relentless 3-day storm drove the fleet entirely off course, plunging them into terror and uncharted territory. As they approached the island of the Sirens, creatures who saw drive sailors on to wreck their ships on the lakes, Odysseus couldn't resist a test of his ego. He demanded to be the only mortal to hear the maddening song and walk away alive. He ordered his men to plug their ears with wax and tie them tightly to the mast. The crew was forced to ride in absolute deafening silence while they watched their king scream, beg, and violently thrash against his bonds. Surviving the Sirens only led them into an impossible tactical game. They had to navigate a narrow strait flanked by 2 lethal threats: a massive ship-swallowing whirlpool on one side and a multi-headed beast waiting on the cliffs on the other. With the wind driving them inward, Odysseus made a calculated, terrifying choice. He ordered the helmsman to steer directly away from the vortex and deliberately hug the cliff where the beast lived. He knew exactly what was waiting up on those rocks. By steering toward the cliff, he ensured the ship wouldn't be pulled to the bottom of the ocean, but he deliberately fed 6 of his own men to the monster to buy them passage. Every monstrous encounter on this journey was a transaction. Poseidon was actively extracting the nothing Odysseus claimed he owed the gods, and the cost was being paid directly in the lives of his crew. Eventually, the sea claimed everyone. After 20 years away, the man who left with a massive fleet and hundreds of soldiers was reduced to a naked drifter clinging to a piece of wood. He finally washed up on the shores of Ithaca. After decades of violent warfare and chaotic storms, he had crawled back to a peaceful Mediterranean bay, entirely alone. Here, Athena offered him a harsh reality check. Strangers had taken over his house, assuming him dead. If he walked through the front doors acting like the conquering King Odysseus, he had to enter unrecognized and hide his ego. To survive his own homecoming, he disguised himself as a filthy beggar. He sat at the threshold of his own great hall, watching them devour his livestock, drain his wine cellars, and openly court his wife. Men who were a fraction of his worth mocked him, threw things at him, and beat him. And the man who once shouted his greatness to the sky had to sit there, absorb the humiliation, and swallow his rage without saying a single word. Odysseus had finally learned that the most difficult opponent to outmaneuver was his own pride. Silence had become his most effective weapon. Under the cover of his disguise, Odysseus began to set the board. He instructed his son to secretly carry every sword and spear out of the great hall, telling the drunken suitors they were being moved to protect the metal from the hearth smoke. The next day, Penelope announced a final contest to choose a new husband. She brought out the king's massive hunting bow, demanding a suitor's string and shoot an arrow through a row of axes. It was a task designed to humiliate them, and perfectly designed to place a weapon directly into the disguised king's hands. The moment Odysseus easily bent the wood and the bowstring snapped back, the deadly trap closed. His identity was revealed to a room full of trapped, unarmed men, and 20 years of suppressed fury was unleashed. With the house cleared, Penelope still needed food. The gods are known for tricks, after all. So she coldly ordered a servant to drag their heavy marriage bed out of the bedchamber for him to sleep on. Odysseus flared with anger, demanding to know who had severed the roots. Decades ago, he built the room around a living olive tree, carving its trunk into the main bedpost where it stood. Moving that bed was physically impossible unless someone had hacked through the living wood. Only the real Odysseus knew the bed was anchored into the very foundation of the earth. The blood in the hall was the price for his house, but the debt he incurred at the walls of Troy remained open. Poseidon rose from the water one last time. He stood over the newly reclaimed home, reminding Odysseus that a single wave was all it would take to sweep him, his wife, and his son off the earth forever. For the first time in his life, Odysseus didn't reach for a weapon. He looked at the sea, then the wife he spent 2 decades trying to reach, and realized that his cleverness had already cost him everything once before. He put down his bow and simply yielded, accepting that some forces cannot be outsmarted. Athena stayed with him because he finally understood the difference between being smart and being wise. She aided him not for his pride, but for his ability to finally recognize the exact limits of his own power. The smartest man in the ancient world spent 20 years paying for a single boast. He only truly completed his journey the moment he chose his family over his ego.